Good morning, everyone. Today, we will explore the biography of George Bagobo. But first, let us have the ancestry and heredity background of George Bagobo. George Cleophas Bagobo was a distinguished Filipino legal scholar, educator, and nationalist who made significant contributions to Philippine law, education, and governance. No? So the name of George Cleophas Bacopo reflects the deep rooted Filipino tradition of honoring both paternal and maternal ancestry. When we say paternal, it is using the name or honoring the name of your father. And when we say maternal ancestry, it is using or honoring the name or surname of your mother. Just like what Jose Rizal did, no? And the other famous writers in the Philippine literature na ilahang gigamit ang surnames sa ilahang mga parents. And this practice, no, of using ancestral surnames, especially those of maternal relatives, is common in the Philippines, where names often bear a significant cultural, familial, and historical weight. No, and when we talk about the ancestors of George Bagubo, no, ato adjung walay record, historical records when it comes on the ano, when it comes on the ancestors or unsa jay historical background ni George Bagobo and his ancestors. Pero through the background of his father, which ang ngalan siyang father is Don Tranquilino Bagobo y Duenas, no? A distinguished member of the Filipino elite during the Spanish colonial period, and his father came from a lineage of educated individuals with an established background public in both public service and intellectual pursuits, no? And he was known for his active involvement in local governance, serving as a town official and a prominent figure in Corona Tarlac, no? As a member of the Filipino elite, iyahang father, which is si Tranquilino, Don Tranquilino maintained a close relationship with the Spanish colonial authorities while also being deeply aware of the growing national consciousness among Filipinos at that time. So, ano siya, balance, although dili ta makaingon no na balance or na equality sa ilahang when it comes on their family and the other family of the Filipino and the other Filipino family no during the Spanish colonial. Pero ilha yung gina-maintain na although dato sila but na sila'y awareness ba silang palibot na dili tanan magstay, dili tanan uh, oras or dili the whole year jud na Spanish lang jud ang makasakop ani na ato ang country na sila'y own nilang awareness, no? Talking about his mother, which is si Doña Rita Teodora Tabaco y Cleofas, when we talk about his family lineage, no? Doña Rita Tabaco y Cleofas came from a equally respected family in Tarlac, and she was the daughter of a prominent family and was deeply connected to the social fabric of Filipino society. No, though there are fewer records about her specific contributions to the family, it is clear that she played an essential role in shaping George's character and values. No? Ma we will discuss about it, no, kung sa iyang mga contributions. But one of her contribution jud si Donya as well as si Don Tranquilino, no, is their fortune. Na what makes George Pugubo fortunate and advan has an advantage when it comes on the access of education. So that's and for the heredity, no, uh, sorry for that. For the heredity of George Pugubo, there are no evidence or there isn't detailed public information about any heredity intellectual traits or specific illnesses that George Cleophas Pukubo inherited from his ancestors. His accomplishments as a legal scholar, educator, and nationalist no, kay were largely attributed to his own personal intellectual abilities and upbringing, which were shaped by the socio-political environment in which he grew up. So later on, tackle, we will explore more kung unsay mga different environments na sa tawag na iyahang na explore when it comes on shaping his own talent or his knowledge na. So next we have here. Now, let us tackle, focus na ta about kay George Pugubo. No. George Pugubo was born on 9 October 19, 1886 in Gerona, Tarlac, to Don Tranquilino Pucupo y Duenas and Doña Rita Teodora Tabaco y Duenas. No, he is a Philippine scholar, a lawyer, a journalist, a leader, an educator, a moralist, disciplinarian, and one of the influential in the development of education in the Philippines. So, growing up in a family that values the education and public service and integrity, no, George was exposed to a nurturing environment that emphasized the importance of both knowledge and character, with both parents being actively involved in the community, which akong giingon a while ago na si Don Tranquilino kay he was one of the people, no, mga elite na known for his active involvement in local governance. Now, George, through this, no, because of this, and also Doña Rita, because of this, George's early childhood in Gerona would have been one filled with intellectual discussions, moral lessons, and an awareness of the political developments that were happening around him. Now, during the birth of George Pucubukod, no, in the town of Gerona in the province of Tarlac, Philippines, no, his birth came at a time when the Philippines was still under Spanish colonial rule, no. As what I have said pud ato na sa background ni sa iyahang papa. A period that would heavily influence his later work as a nationalist, educator, and legal scholar, no. George upbringing also occurred in a time of great transition in the Philippines. The end of the 19th century marked the decline of Spanish colonial rule and the rise of American imperial influence. It was during the transformative period that George's formative years unfolded, giving him first-hand experience of the social and political dynamics that would inform his later contributions. His parents, especially his father, because a while ago I said that his father is one of the active member in local governance and serving the town as an official and prominent figure in the arena. No, would have been keenly aware of these changing dynamics, and it is likely they imparted lessons of both adaptation and resistance of their son. So, Lilis. kailangan nila mag-adapt sa changes kasi it is not hindi every time ilang son is mag-remain stagnant ba. So, wala siya and next we have the education and career of George Bakubo. But first, let us have his education. No, he learned first is his mother taught him the alphabet. His father taught him how to write. No, he learned the alphabet first from his mother and writing from his father. It is very important to learn kung sa inyuhang balay pa, no? Kung para pud sa ako, swerte ra jud kaayo si George Bacobo na to have a parents na supportive pud kaayo sa iya when it comes on education. And swerte ra pud kay siya because his parents are both fortunate and giving him a way to have an free access on education. Ay di siya free, pero naa siya full access on education na pwede siya mag-explore and to get the knowledge that he wants. And it's very important to learn first the basic in your home. So, kuan kaayo siya, swerte kaayo siya na to have a father and a mother like that, no? And he started his formal education in Corona where he had to work as an apprentice in the municipal government. So, he once dreamed kanino with na ano niya, anong tawag dito? Sa pagtrabaho or sa pag-work niya as an apprentice or a clerk rather, clerk, no? The rin na part is wala siya salary in the municipal government. So, nagtrabaho lang siya for experience. And he once dreamed to be a doctor. But early contact with public, no, sa kay sibaingon ko ato na because of his father, no, na active pod sa local governance na siya'y early na engagement sa public, mga law, may sa government is nag-proceed siya of judicial nag-proceed siya og law to take up a law because of the influence of the judicial affairs, no, public and judicial affairs. And in 1903, no, he went to Manila in 1903 to attend school on Padre Faura Street. So, after siyang formal education in Corona, ning adto siya Manila, ning attend siya sa Padre Faura Street. And dere nag-continue ra gyapon ang iyahang journey to study law. And then, on the initiative of Governor William Howard Taft, the Philippine Commission passed Act number 854 on August 26, 1903. No, excuse me. In order to send 100 Filipino students to the United States for 4 years of study in American schools. So, si, si George Pugubo is one of those fortunate people, a person, no? And, ay, thank you, Lord. Ay, sorry po. And, siya ang isa po sa mga gitagurian na one of the first Filipino na nahimong scholar sa other and exchange student pod siya sa other country which is the America. And ang kuyog niya dito is the other pensionados. And nagsailed sila on October 10, 1903 sa Japanese in a Japanese ship, Ruchilia Maru. Muna yung pangalan sa Japanese ship. And upon sa ilahang journey, no, the group took special classes at Santa Barbara, California. And ning attend po sila sa Pass High School in San Diego. And in September 1904, no, he proceeded to Indiana University to study law. So dire-diretso ra jud ang journey niya, and he only have one goal. It is to take and to study law. And after that, he graduated in June 1907. No. So mao na siya ang journey niya sa iyahang education. Next, we have his career. A few days after graduation, he left for Manila. Arriving there in August 1907, he worked as a law clerk in the Executive Bureau. In the 1910 bar examination, he obtained an almost, no, after 3 years, he obtained an almost perfect score in civil law. And knowing that civil law is one of the hardest um, bar examination in the country, he obtained an almost perfect score, and that is amazing. Knowing na all of that, no, is mo na ang ano-ana, parang mo na ang bunga sa iyang hard work after 3 years, no? And knowing na bright jud siya, kay dili ba siya mahimong scholar o dili pud siya mahimong exchange student kung if the government didn't find him interesting and didn't find him very a bright person, no? And a year later, no, in 1911, he transferred and he began teaching at the University of the Philippines College of Law. On September 30, that year, mismo sa 1911, he married Felisa de Castro, and they were gifted with 7 children: Elvira, Florante, Cecilia, Ariel, Dalisay, Israel, and Malaya. So that's ilahang gifted. That is mo na ilang 7 children. And in 1914, no, he was made an assistant professor of civil law, and in 1917 he was associate associate professor for 2 years. And 1917, he was appointed for full professor and acting dean of the college. And during that span of years, no, he always insisted on the highest standard of legal training. Very strict jud siya when it comes on learning. No, very strict jud siya as a dean. And kung ako pod ang pangutanon, no, I like that kind of strict kasi dili man gud matuto ang bata if pure luwag ra jud kaayo na parang baliwalaon lang ang law, because the ignorance of we have that saying way. We have that saying that being being ignorant, pagiging ignorante ay hindi siya excuse. Ignorance of the law excuses no one. So, yun pala yung tamang term nun. Ignorance of the law excuses no one. So, kung ako ang pangutanon, way ni George Pocobobod is somehow helpful for us, no? And because of this, he insisted on the highest standard of legal training. This greatly contributed to making the UP, or University of the Philippines, the most outstanding law school in the country and the one with the best legal library. And aside from George Cleophas Bagobo po, dili lang pod siya ang naay contributions ani daghan pod sila. Pero ang gi-highlight lang nato karon is si George Bagobo because mo atong gistudyhan no, mo atong gi-explore. So dili lang take note na dili lang si George Pupubo naapod sila Justice Jose Abad Santos, si Dean Vicente Abad Santos, si Justice Irene Cortez, si Justice Florento Feliciano, and many more. Daghan sila. Dili lang si George Cleophas Pupubo, pero si George Cleophas Pupubo is one of the contributors. Okay? So Bugobo helped President Manuel Alcazar in many ways, conducting speeches, statements to fighting for Philippine independence. No. So, ning support siya on claiming the independence in our country. Yes, claiming the independence in our country. Kay nagtanong po ko nganong iya magisuportahan ang independence na very fortunate man sila sa ano, during Spanish colonial kung ilang suportaan, edi ma-equalize na sila. Ang sagot ana, it is because they are aware na dili stagnant ang ilang position in the country. There are moabot ang panahon, jud kabalo sila na moabot ang panahon na ma-equalize sila ay mawala jud na ang ilahang excuse me for that ilang fortune and mahimo na silang normal citizen of in the Philippines. So in 1934, Bakubo became the fifth president of the University of the Philippines system. So in the Philippines College of Law. Now, he presented the following initial ideas upon his assumptions to office, such as student courtesy, improvement of the teaching method, student guidance, church attendance, reading period before the final examinations, and formation of the alumni institute. No, a moralist and a disciplinarian mo na ni. Ang gikuan na tong introduction niya na he urged students to return to the simple but basic virtues. So, sama itong mga simple and basic virtues na kailangan sundon nila. It is their behavior, their character. It must be pleasant. Now, as a result, he expelled a student for printing a poem that he deemed immoral and suspended a whole batch of students for violating the dance regulations. No, dahil lang no na dahil lang sa pagprint sa student kay one for all for one jud sila kay nadamay ang tanang batch. And iyang rason nganong iyanang gihimo because he said that moral and civic education being the paramount objective of the school is the most exacting, for it requires that a teacher should not merely dole out knowledge or moral principles, but it should inspire the pupils to live up to the principles that we imparted. So these statements, no, means that teaching goes beyond just giving students information or telling them what is right and wrong. The real challenge is inspiring students to apply these principles in their everyday lives. Teachers, mga soon-to-be teachers, and mga teachers po, must not only educate with facts but also motivate students to live by the values they learn. No, the moral and civic education is more than just talking about good behavior. It involves guiding students to practice what they are taught and become responsible citizens who contribute positively to society. Sakto po siya no, si George Popopo kay Kung puro rata salita at wala sa gawa, wala pa rin yung mga tinuturo ng ating mga guro, no? We have we must have the outcome, the application of our learnings because dara na 'to makita na kung nakasabot ba talaga siya, kung nakasabot ba jud ang mga bata sa meaning ana imong gipangtudlo because kung mali ang pag-apply, edi mali iyang pagsabot. Ana ra na kadali. Muna'y gi-ano ni George Pacubo na they have to learn not just good behavior but also learn to apply it properly. Now, Dr. Pukubo likewise believed in the importance of education for women. Now, he wrote that the paramount objectives of women's education, which is that a girl should be raised to be womanly, just as a boy should be taught to be more womanly, that she could cultivate her feminine charm. So, ang gimin ni Dr. Bakubo dali no that women's education should focus on developing qualities like femininity and grace, just as boys are taught to be strong and manly. He also emphasized that education should prepare girls not only academically, but also embodying womanly virtues and charm. In his view, according to him, no, the goal was to nurture well-rounded individuals who understand their roles in society while embracing their unique traits. So, para sa ako, libog siya because dili mong gud ng babae, feminine, muliho, with grace, but sakto po siya na we have to know our role in our society and act accordingly, no? And sa teachings niya, he is very strict, but also he is right, no? That's why kung estudyante ko sa UP, kung estudyante lang jud ko sa UP, tapos buhi pa ni siya, no? But unfortunately, wala na siya, patay na siya. Siguro, ano siya, one of my role model and also sometimes dili po ko mo-agree sa pag-ingon niya na woman should be feminine kay dili we have to adapt, no, we have to adapt the changes in our environment, especially right now, no. Next, he became the Secretary of Public Instruction in President Manuel L. Quezon's cabinet upon his retirement as UP President in 1939. So, nag-retired siya as a UP President in 1939 and became the Secretary of Public Instruction during the term of President Manuel L. Quezon. He worked to instill nationalism in the youth to promote more Filipino sources in education, in the observance of a patriotic calendar whereby historical events were taught and observed in public schools. He asserted or he said that there is a need of shifting the tendency of your young people from frivolous social gatherings towards serious patriotic commemorations when they may ponder upon the past endeavors. He also believed that the observance of historical events, especially those which led the foundation for the Filipino nation, is an effective way of inculcating the nationalism among the children and the youth. While a great deal had been done in recent years along this line in the public schools, still there should be greater emphasis upon patriotism. So, grabe no, iyahang paniniwala jud at paninindigan. And from 1942 to 1944, he was Justice of the Supreme Court and Chairman of the Code Commission. From 1947 to 1962, he was the principal author of the Civil Civil Code of the Philippines, for which work he was given a Presidential Award of Merit in 1949 by President Elpidio Quirino. Excuse me. Following orders of President Quezon to hold office for the Japanese government, he was charged with treason. So next we have, sorry, wala na ako siya nakuhaan. So muna siya ang mga achievements niya, no? Na ano siya sa Doctor of Laws honoris causa in University of Southern California in 1931. And sa Indiana niya sa University in 1951, the University of the Philippines in 1952, and then award siya, Presidential Award of Merit, and President Elpidio Quirino in 1949. So let's have the trivia. He was charged with treason by the Americans on May 17, 1954, because he held office with the government installed by the Japanese during the occupation of the country. He was imprisoned but later cleared of the charges and set free. Why? Because he was later cleared of the charges because just like other Filipinos, no, his role was seen as a necessity for survival during the harsh conditions of the war. So meaning nagtrabaho lang siya dito sa under Japanese government, no, nagtrabaho lang siya dito for survival, and he was not actively betraying the country, but simply serving under an imposed regime. So after the war, the courts or authorities determined he had not acted with malicious intent or collaborated in ways that harmed the Philippines, leading to his exoneration. So nalaya siya and set free siya. Bogobo was a writer, an essayist, and a dramatist. He translated the Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo of Jose Rizal into English. Wala niya gibago jud tanan kung unsa jud toy sa tawag translation ana nila mo jud to kay apan nga na plagiarism gani daw. So, moto. Next, he also translated the Code of Kalanchao, the Philippine national hymn, and the Bonifacio Decalogue. Next, he wrote legal publications including outlines of the law on property, obligations, and court decisions from 1924 to 1944. Next, he was strong advocate of the community chess and a member of the United States Educational Foundation in the Philippines. And lastly, he led an organization for the promotion of Protestantism in the Philippines. So, mo ni yung mga contributions, no? Na known sa contribution as an educator, he was strict. He was known to be a moralist and a disciplinarian, urging the students to strive for basic virtues, just like what I have said a while ago. He implemented improvement. He was also devotedly religious, o katong ingon sila na dapat mo-go sila to church. He wanted teaching to be not only about knowledge, katong iyang gipa extend, ay, iyahang gi-expelled or gi-expended expanded ang kuan. Tapos, Pugubo was also a firm believer in the importance of education for women, just like what I said na ang woman daw dapat feminine. He worked to instill nationalism in the youth and to promote more Filipino sources in education. And yeah, he promoted the Boy Scouts among the Protestants, a vision of beauty, Filipino contact with America, and the college and education. So philosophy niya na the basis of the education in the Philippines, according to Bagubo, are the Filipino social-cultural values and traditions. The spirit of nationalism and love of country must serve as the foundation of education. Further, the learner must be prepared for a democratic way of learning life and learning critical learning life, democratic life, and survival. So for his work, no, we have here The Radiant Symbol by George Cleophas Procopo. No, so the Radiant Symbol is a collection of Filipino short plays and stories published in 1925. It is a significant work in the context of early Filipino literature in English. His work is a reflective examination of Filipino society, exploring themes of social life, customs, and the Filipino experience while also introducing no one's characters and engaging narratives. The collection, originally printed by Oriental Commercial Co. in Manila, plays a pivotal role in understanding and the developing of Philippine drama and short stories. So, Kaning Region Symbol is a collection of Filipino short stories, their struggles during the um, colonization, both American and Spanish period. So, kung ilang struggles, ilang kung giunsa nila gipaglaban nilang independence, sulod naara diri sa Radiant Symbol. So that's all for my report, no, about George Bokubo. I hope na naka-learn mo og taman, you have learned a lot about George Bokubo. And kung ako yung pangutan-on, no, George Bagobo is one of those people na nag-prove na dili tanan famous writer or authors, no, kay ang tawag na, nagdako sila or they are born talented and gifted. Si George Bagobo ang evident na siya ang ebidensya sa atong tanan na through hard work and determination. And also, no, ato ang interest, we have to follow what is our interest, no. Through that, makabaluta and we can become sorry for that. We can become successful someday. So we can become successful someday because it is our dream and it is what engage us in our society. So that's all for my report. And I hope na marami kayong natutunan sa pag-explore natin sa buhay sa biography of George Cleophas Tabubo. That's all. Thank you.